Hello, Plessy families. In order to better understand our standards-based grading system, we have created this simple webinar for your review. Our job as a school is to ensure we're providing the best educational opportunity for our students. This means holding a very high bar of what standards for each grade levels require. Standards-based grading allows us to zoom in on actual academic abilities without inflating grades with effort. Of course, effort, participation, and showing Plessy values is an important part of the educational experience, but when it's averaged in together, it can sometimes give students and families a false idea of academic performance. For example, there are many stories of high school valedictorians, even right here in our own city, graduating with a 4.0 or higher, top of their class, who then struggle to score an 18 on the ACT college entrance exam. This is a misalignment of grades to actual academic levels, and it's a huge blow to a student's confidence and often a shock to families. For this reason, among others, we feel it's important to have an accurate representation of both effort and participation, as well as actual academic level, so that one, students and families are clear on their strengths and areas of growth, and we can partner together to make a solid plan to help raise academic achievement levels. So what is standards-based grading? Standards-based grading assesses a student's mastery of a specific Louisiana student standard. It also assesses participation, effort, and work completion separate from the academic mastery. Here at Plessy, we use a 4-point scale for grading. A 4 exceeds grade level expectations. This is above and beyond. A 3 is meeting grade level expectations. A 2 is approaching grade level expectations. And a 1 means we are not meeting grade level expectations. Don't think of this 4-point scale as a 3 out of 4 or a 75%. Instead, think of 3s as your target. If a student is making straight 3s, that's the same as making straight A's. A 3 is the ideal place where you want a student to be. In the middle school grades, we use something called power law in order to calculate averages. As you can see here, student 1 has increased their score over 4 assessments. Student 4 has decreased their score over 4 assessments. With a regular weighted average, these two students would have the same grade for the course. However, with standards-based grading, we're really trying to understand how and when to best intervene, getting every child to mastery. With power law, it uses a predictive algorithm to show growth. So student 1 would actually have a higher score since we can predict that on their next assessment, they would continue to go up, where student 4 may have a lower score since they've been declining in their mastery. All of these data points are helpful for teachers to help intervene in order to push more student learning. On report cards, you'll see academic mastery versus what we call habits of learning. Academic mastery is simply that, academic standards. Habits of learning is where you can find participation, effort, and showing our Plessy values of courage, mindfulness, purposeful, and being curious. Traditionally, a grade may have been made up to 30% effort and participation. At Plessy, we separate the two to ensure that everyone has a clear understanding of where students are both academically as well as their class participation. Major takeaways here are that academic progress doesn't happen overnight. So it's really important to look at those habits of learning grades and any M's, which stand for missing, to ensure that your students are trying their absolute best. A student may be performing below grade level, but having a really high habits of learning grade, which means that they're working really hard. It's just where they are right now. We have a plethora of interventions happening both within the regular period and during intervention times. If you have questions about your child's progress in intervention or in core classes, please reach out to your grade level team teachers or your principals. If you're having any technology issues with accessing jump rope for grades 5 through 8, please contact Ms. Kelsey. Her information is on the screen. How can you see your students' grades if your student is a middle schooler in grades 5th through 8th? You can go to www.jumprow.pe. From there, you will click the Login button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. In order to log in, you can use your student's Plessy email address, which will be their first name dot last name at plessyschool.org. A password should have been sent to you. If you did not receive your password, please reach out to kelsey.coyle@plessyschool.org. If your child is looking to look up their own grades, they can simply click in the Sign In with Google button and select their Plessy account. Once you are in, you will see a dashboard that looks like this. As you can see, there are different options and different information on the screen. You're going to want to go to the left-hand side and click where it says Current Grades. This will open a report similar to this. You will see each course that your child is rostered to and their overall average. Down here, you can see the overall average in a 4-point scale. You can see that in language arts, this student has a 2.9 average. In science, they have a 4.0. You can also see any courses that a student has a missing assignment for. This is especially helpful if you're helping teach your student how to be accountable for completing all of their work while virtual. When you click into one course, for example, this is 6th grade ELA, it will drop down all of the standards that your student has been working on in class. On the right-hand side, you can see the average for each particular standard that was used to calculate the general class average. If you notice that there is an M next to a particular standard, that indicates that the student is missing that assignment linked to that standard. When you click on the standard, it will show you, one, a timeline graph at the top, but down at the bottom, it will list each assignment that was entered for that standard. You can find what's missing with the M. Here, you can see that the exit ticket from August 21st is what was missing. So it's a lot easier to then reach out to this teacher to ask for a way to make up that assignment or to check back on Google Classroom in the archive folder. You'll also be able to see the overall habits of learning mastery for each class. As you know, habits of learning is where we look at class participation, effort, and other ways of showing our Plessy values. Here you can see that this student had 3.0s all across the board, which is basically like getting straight A's for effort, participation, and showing those Plessy values. If you have further questions, anything jump rope or about the grading system, please don't hesitate to reach out to your child's teachers, to Miss Kelsey, or of course, to the principal, Miss Bernstein.